Hello, 3 days in a row. I'm excited for myself. So we're gonna read Canto 15 from Dante's Inferno. This is a live read, so sometimes it's hard to find on my playlist because if they're recorded, it shows up at the front of my playlist. So you have to look if you're here, you found me, but you have to look in live reads, and then it'll have the playlist. The playlist has all of them in order, so that way you can just go from canto to canto. So I like the what I've been doing, reading the summary first and giving you some vocabulary words because I'm thinking a lot of my followers ended up being English second language learners or multi-language learners. So I'm trying to make this as educational as I can. Educational YouTube. If you take time to look and you don't just think I'm an audiobook, then you won't cancel me again. And I'm reading public domain books. So don't do this to me again because my students benefit from this. So this is more than just reading a book. This is teaching how to read. So join me and let's see what our summary of Canto 15 is. If you like it, send me a message in there. I know, Rachel, that you're not loving Dante's Inferno, but I do. And tell me why. Because honestly, I was talking to my dad. He and I, neither one of us love it. So let's see what old Dante and Virgil are up to right now. They continue along the burning sand of the seventh circle, which is the third ring, where the violent against God, nature, and art are punished. So if you do wrong to God, to nature, like you burn down forests or, terrorize oceans, pollute oceans, and art, I love that. So if you go in and throw blood all over a painting or whatever, you slash it or destroy a big statue, a big what do you call those statues? I'm thinking about in Sweden, they had huge statues all over the parks everywhere. They loved those. So if this is a group of people that are doing these bad things and they follow the banks of a small stream of boiling blood that provides some protection from the falling fire. Boiling blood provides protection from falling fire. Which would be worse, to have the fire land on you or the boiling blood land on you? I don't know. Along the way, Dante notices a group of souls walking together under the rain of fire. One of them recognizes Dante and eagerly approaches. He is Brunetto Latini, Dante's beloved mentor, a Florentine scholar, remember this is all Italy, writer, and politician. Dante is moved with respect and affection, calling Brunetto almost like a father figure. Brunetto explains that he and the other souls are guilty of sodomy, a sin against nature, which is why they suffer here. I'm not going to even get into that conversation. He predicts that Dante's destiny will be marked by opposition and envy, but that Dante's fame will endure. Dante, in turn, expresses gratitude and sorrow, saying Brunetto taught him how man makes himself eternal through knowledge and literature. Brunetto then departs quickly, joining his companions again and running across the burning sand. So Brunetto is guilty of sodomy, and that's why he's there suffering. That's a whole nother channel, a whole nother video, but I just don't want to get into that. I'll let you make your own decisions. So some of the themes, mentorship and legacy. Dante honors his teacher despite his punishment, showing respect for intellectual and personal influence. Fame versus eternal life. Brunetto emphasizes earthly fame, while Dante's journey is about eternal salvation. Interesting. So Dante is trying to figure out how to avoid hell, I guess. Florence and politics. This is the part I really don't follow enough because I'm not a student of Florence or of old Italy. Brunetto hints that at Dante's troubled future in Florentine politics and exile. So that has to do, again, you have to know a lot about Dante and his history and his story. Compassion versus condemnation. Dante admires Brunetto but cannot change his fate in hell, highlighting the balance between human affection and divine justice. So that justifies the compassion that, should sodomy be something that sends you to hell? But it underscores that divine justice takes precedent, which is hard for me because I'm a very compassionate, empathetic person. And I just think the human experience helps us grow as people. We learn things from life lessons, and the whole idea of an ultimate judgment is very dissatisfying to me. All right, our 10 words that we're going to pull from this reading: rivulet, timorous, betwixt. That's an old word. Intermit. I'm used to intermittent, but intermit. Forlorn, Blithesome. That is a hard word for me to say because I have a bit of a lisp, but that combination of letters, blithe, you have to get that tongue out, some, and then teeth together for the some, blithesome. Malignant, rapacious, paternal. So one of the things I encourage you to choose a couple of these words and see if you can work them into your vocabulary throughout the week. Think of situations that are either antonyms or synonyms for these words. See if there's ways you can work those in, or where would you think it would make sense to plug it in. All right, so let us read. Um, this is Project Gutenberg PDF, Canto 15 from Dante Alighieri's Inferno, Canto 15. Oh, that's not Canto 15. I hope I pulled from Canto 15. Well, there's Betwixt, so I did. Okay, I had scrolled up to the wrong thing. Now lies our way along one of the margins hard. Steam rising from the rivulet forms a cloud, which gainst the fire doth brook and borders guard. Like walls the Flemings, timorous of the flood, which towards them pours betwixt Bruges and Cadsand, have made that ocean's charge may be withstood, or what the Paduans on the Bretna's strand to guard their castles and their homesteads rear, ere Chiarentana feel the springtide bland. Of the same fashion did those dikes appear. Dikes are like levees in Louisiana, but they're things that hold the water back. Though not so high he made them, nor so vast, whoe'er the builder was that piled them here. We, from the wood, when we so far had passed, I should not have distinguished where it lay, though I to see it backward glance had cast, a group of souls encountered on the way, whose line of march was to the margin nigh. Each looked at us by the noon moon's ray. Men peered at others neath the darkening sky, sharpening his brows on us, and only us, like an old tailor on his needle's eye. I like that idea. A tailor is somebody who's sewing. So if you've ever threaded a needle, there's that little eye, that little loop, and then you've got that tiny little piece of thread that you've got to just get it. And so you've really focused. You get your eyes right there, really focused. So I like that simile, like an old sailor on his needle's eye. How focused is he? And while that crowd was staring at me thus, one of them knew me, caught me by the gown, and cried aloud, "Lo, this is marvelous!" And straightway, while he thus to me held on, I fixed mine eyes upon his fire-baked face. So he's suffering. He's fire-baked. The flame, the raining fire has fallen on him. And spite of scorching, seemed his features known, and whose they were, my memory well could trace. He's like, I know him. Even though he's burned up, I know him. And I, with hands stretched toward his face below, asked, Sir Brunetto, and is this your place? Oh, son, he answered, no displeasure show. If now Brunetto Latini shall some way step back with thee and leave his troop to go. I said, with all my heart for this I pray, and if you choose, I by your side will sit. If he, for I go with him, grant delay. So if Virgil, my partner, doesn't mind that I sit here and talk with you, son, said he, who of us shall intermit motion a moment, for an age must lie nor fan himself when flames are round him lit. On, therefore, at thy skirts I follow nigh, then shall I overtake my band again, who mourn a loss large as eternity. I dared not from the path step to the plain to walk with him, but lo, I bent my head. So this is Dante saying, I didn't want to go with him, but I stayed on the path. But lo, I bent my head like one whose steps are all with reverence taken. What fortune or what destiny, he said, hath brought thee here, or ere thou death hast seen? Like, how'd you come and you're not dead? And who is this by whom thou onward led? Up yonder, said I, in the life serene, I in a valley wandered all forlorn before my years had full accomplished been. I turned my back on it but yestermorn. Again I sought it when we came in sight, guided by whom I homeward thus return. And he to me, following thy planet's light, thou of a glorious haven canst not fail. If in the blithesome life, see that word is hard for me, blithesome life I marked aright. And had my years known more abundant tale, seeing the heavens so held thee in their grace, I, heartening thee, had helped thee to prevail. But that ungrateful and malignant race, which down from Fiesole came long ago, and still its rocky origin betrays, will for thy worthiness become thy foe? And with good reason, for among crab trees wild, it ill befits the mellow fig to grow. By widespread ancient rumor are they styled, a people blind, rapacious, envious, vain. See by their manners thou be not defiled. Fortune reserves such honor for thee. Vain, both sides will be to enlist thee in their need. But from the break the herb shall far remain. Let beasts of Fiesole go on to tread, themselves to litter, not the plants molest. If any such now spring on their rank bed, in whom there flourishes indeed the blessed seed of the Romans who still linger there, when of such wickedness 'twas made the nest. Had I obtained full answer to my prayer, you had not yet been doomed. I then did say, this exile from humanity to bear, for deep within my heart and memory lives the paternal image good and dear of you, as in the world from day to day. I remember you as a father figure. How men escape oblivion you made clear. My thankfulness for which shall in my speech, while I have life, as it behooves, appear. I note what of my future course you teach, stored with another text. It will be glozed by one expert. Should I that lady reach? Yet would I have this much to you disclosed. If but my conscience no reproaches yield, to all my fortune is my soul composed. Not new to me the hint by you revealed, therefore let fortune turn her wheel apace. Even as she will, the clown his mattock wield. Thereon my master right about did face, and uttered this with glance upon me thrown. He hears to purpose who doth mark the place. And none the less I, speaking, still go on with Sir Brunetto, asking him to tell who of his band are greatest and best known. And he to me, to hear of some is well, but of the rest 'tis fitting to be dumb, dumb silent. And time is lacking all their names to spell, that all of them were clerks. Know thou in some, all SUM, all men of letters, famous and of might, stained with one sin, all from the world are come. Priscian goes with that crowd of evil plight. Francis de Corso, too, and hadst thou mind for such like trash, thou mightest have had sight of him, the slave, of slaves to change a sign from Arno's banks to Baccaglione. My Italian is non-existent. Where his nerves fatigued with vice he left behind. More would I say, but neither must I fare nor talk at further length, for from the sand I see new dust clouds rising in the air. I may not keep with such as are at hand, care for my treasure, for I still survive in that my work. I nothing else demand. So his legacy is in the writings he's left behind. Then turned he back and ran like those who strive for the green cloth upon Verona's plain, and seemed like him that all that shall the first arrive, and not like him that labors all in vain. Take a look at the footnotes if you want to get deeper. The green cloth insinuated a race to be run on the first Sunday of Lent. The prize was a piece of green cloth. The competitors ran naked. Brunetto does not disappear into the gloom without a parting word of applause from his old pupil. Dante's rigorous sentence on his beloved master is pronounced as softly as it can be. We must still wonder that he has the heart to bring him such an awful judgment. And there we have Canto 15. Tell me what you're enjoying about this book, or tell me how you're enduring it in school, or what kind of assessments your teachers are giving you. These are all under 15 minutes, so you can get that homework done. Don't forget to do it. Thank you for reading with me. I'm going to keep doing this. I tell myself I'm going to keep doing this. I do teach again tonight. I do private lessons internationally. I'm working on getting a credit card set up that will work with international credit cards. The equivalent is $30 a US dollar. So whatever your currency is, just make sure it converts to $30 US. And I would love to teach you independently. We can do it on Google Meets, Google Hangouts. I have an app called Whereby, but that's only 30 minutes. I'd like to do 50-minute sessions. And I can do English second language, or I can help you with homework, tutoring, that sort of thing. My goal is to be able to leave my corporate job and be able to spend time online working and traveling to see my children in San Francisco, in Denver, in Sao Paulo, Brazil, and my kids here in Baton Rouge, and friends all over the world. I've got friends in England, friends in Tunisia, friends in Germany, and I want to go visit them, but I'm locked into a 9 to 5. It's actually an 8 to 4 job. I know it's time to be free. Be free. All right. Thanks for reading with me. Subscribe, tell your friends, help me build the channel. It was something to go from 80 to now I was at 18,500. Painful, but there's a reason for it. I accept it. So you guys have a great evening, and I will read to you next time. See ya.